It's a beautiful, almost 50 degrees day here in Kent, Ohio, on North Water Street by the Williams Brothers Mill, now called Star of the West. And this is an update of the Sherman House project at 247 North Water, an 1858 Greek Revival building, which we've moved and are reconstructing. The latest thing we've done is the stairway to the front door, and that's a historic door which is in the process of being installed. That's from the 1840s. Found that and rebuilt it. This is our new basement entrance, which has the stairway and railings to allow access under code. It's a commercial project, so we've had to conform to the commercial code. We have a nice front entrance with side lights and a transom, bringing as much light as possible to our commercial basement rental. Here's the basement, and this curlicue thing is a railing. It looks like a big snake, doesn't it? This will be a railing for the spiral staircase, which will go into the back there, right about where that table saw is. This is another historic door that's going to go in the back, and we are going to have this ceiling insulated and the walls framed for the basement build out before it's rented. We don't have a renter yet, but once we get it to that point with the sheetrock installed, it will be pretty easy to rent, we hope. This is an ADA bathroom area, and here we have the back part of the basement, which will also be part of the tenants. Part of it will be ours too, and there'll be a spiral staircase coming from the main floor down here, which will be our space. This is the mechanicals room where we have the furnace, etc., and the electrical entrance panel, one of 3 panels in the building. And this is a back area, rooms under a concrete deck, which is at the rear of the building. That framing you see there, above that is a concrete deck exterior at the back of the building. That's going to be, this room will be for our purposes. Of course, now we're using it to store everything and hold our various parts. Now let's take a run up back to the outside and go upstairs. Once again, this is how the entrance will look to the basement. And concrete steps up. Drainage, of course. And let's just take a quick look at the side yard. This is the side yard leading up to the back, with our mechanicals, air conditioning units. And this is the building next door, which has been purchased and going to be either torn down or completely rehabbed. I don't think they know exactly yet what's going to happen, but something is going to happen there. It'll be really great when we get this wheelchair ramp completed with the railings and posts alongside it, because then we'll be able to take occupancy for our upstairs tenant. This is the backyard. Can't believe it's December 27th and about 50 degrees, but I'll take it. I'm sure you would too. Here's the deck, which was above those rooms downstairs. People with a wheelchair can come up the deck, or up the ramp, onto the deck and in the back door. This is the rear entrance, which Alan Orishan very beautifully designed to look historical and bring us into the rear. People in a wheelchair can come in here. Once again, that door in the basement will be installed here. This is a little kitchenette area under construction, and a little janitor closet. And here's a bathroom with nicely tiled as the floor is. It has a beauty, you can't see it, but it has a, underneath this plastic to protect it, it's got a beautiful slate floor, tile floor. And that's a window trimmed out to look sort of historical in that pattern. This is where the staircase will come up from downstairs in the basement. And here is the conference room. People with a wheelchair to visit someone in the upstairs would come in here and they could have a conference. Upstairs we have an attorney, so they'll use this as a conference room occasionally for people that cannot get upstairs with a wheelchair. This is the main room at the front. This is a handrailing for the upstairs staircase, which is under construction. And here's a fireplace surround we saved from another Greek Revival building which is being torn down on the other side of town. We took some parts from that building that we could use, and we'll install that along that wall there, probably with a fake fireplace, but that's the best we can do. And there are the original window treatments, obscured by lots of stuff. And this is the stairway, which has been all scraped. Ann Ward has done a lot of this scraping work. Rick Hawksley has done most of the wiring and plumbing. It's just amazing what has been done here. Bruce Gill hung this door with some antique hinges we found. And this is the inside of that doorway that came up, it was at the top of the staircase from the outside. This is a door from probably the 1840s. And this is our stairway. Soon the balusters, I forgot to point those out downstairs in the basement. The balusters are ready to be installed in these pockets where the old ones were. We're going to put new ones in. Those little pockets right there. And we're going to have a brand new newel post, which will be 42 inches high instead of 36, because the code requires 42 inch. So we have to, that's the original newel post, but we can't use it because it's not the correct height. And we have to have a railing on each side of this. So we'll have take us upstairs, take a quick look. All the woodwork's been scraped. Tracy Wallach, Ann Ward, done much of this work. And Doug, Tracy's husband, has done a lot of wiring because he's a professional electrician. He's done a lot of wiring in the basement and elsewhere in the house. This is an original historic door which we saved. This is one of the few that remains from the house. Do a little storage room, file room. That's how we have our heating and air conditioning, new outlets on the ceiling. This is the office for the attorney. Mostly primed now, pretty close to being ready to be finished painted. The floor will be carpeted. And we have a piece of glass to put in here for what we call borrowed light. So this will bring light into this office from the hallway, which has a nice southern exposure to it. This is a paralegal's office. More historic doors waiting to be hung. And a little refrigerator for the kitchenette in here. Very small bathroom here. And once again, more historic doors. Another historic door being worked on, and one over there to cover up that opening at the back, which we're going to keep, but it'll be framed over and have a couple of lights in it to let light in. And eventually we have a French balcony underneath this opening outside over the back deck. Another office where all the computers and equipment are going to go. hallway, and we go back downstairs. Alan Orshan and Rick Hawksley have done a lot of the drywall work on this ceiling. The ceiling was a disaster, and they've made it look very, very good. It's actually amazing what they've done with this ceiling. It was terrible condition. And here's some of the wide pieces of poplar lumber that we use. We have to put framing around this doorway. That's an original entrance. We'll frame that in with the same style as the original on both sides. There's part of the original left. We'll repair this corner here, which is broken off somehow. Once again, this is a good look at the old window treatment. Most of the windows are intact, the window treatments. The windows presently are newer vinyl replacement windows. When this house was a rooming house on the other side of town before we moved it, we will get rid of those windows and put historically correct versions in, but they're about $1,000 a piece, and we have 13 of them to do. So we have to put that off to a later phase, but we will do that eventually. That's why it's very important to have donations to help defray the cost of this thing. This is really cost quite a bit of money and time, about $230,000, which does not include all of the volunteer hours. Hundreds, if not thousands, of volunteer hours to do this project. So any donation we get really helps out. And you can do that at kwsh.org. You can find the links there. You can also do it on Amazon Smile. When you buy things on Amazon, we'll get a little donation from that. And anything we get goes right into this building to defray the tremendous cost of saving it and restoring it and making it useful for the public. That's what this main floor is. This will be for the public. Some will be fee-based, rented to people for occasional parties, gatherings, class reunions, wedding receptions, things like that. On other occasions, if we have a nonprofit has a public meeting space they need, which is not too big because we can't accommodate more than 25 people, which is the rated occupancy for this space, we can let someone use it for free for something like that. But obviously at other times we do need to rent the space if someone has a private party or some small commercial function they need the building for. That will help us defray the costs of maintenance and long-term viability. That's a section of wallpaper we preserved from the original wallpaper. Go back outside into that nice day. And our nice backyard, which will be part of the grounds which can be used. That nice amphitheater rise to the terrain provides seating for people to view something going on the back deck, which can be a musical performance or a lecture or just a gathering with people for a party or wedding reception. We're going to have a fence back there, and of course this building will be completely gone next year. This will all be redone. We know this part is completely going and will be totally constructed new, and it looks like the front part of this original building from 1910 was originally a waiting room on the Northern Ohio traction line, trolley car line, which ran until about 1930. But that is going to go, probably be torn down and rebuilt because it's severely damaged by moisture. and it's touch and go whether it can actually be saved. We wouldn't mind seeing it saved and restored, but it might not be practical, and the people who bought the land and the building are struggling with that decision right now. These are some big sandstone steps we saved from over on Portage Street, and our heating contractor, excuse me, not heating contractor, but our foundation contractor moved these for us and put them there. It's really great. And of course they contoured the hill for us. These are yard drains. It's amazing. We've had no water problems here once the sod was installed. We sodded this ourselves and planted that part. And the contractor put in yard drains on both sides connected by a French drain that runs between them. And that collects a lot of the water. And of course, we had to put in drains to collect our neighbor's water from the previous landlord, because it was completely dumping on our lot and eroding all the bare earth before we put the sod in. But once we installed the sod and got this drainage thing going, we have had no water problems at all, even though our sump system is not working yet. It's really amazing. Such a good foundation on this building. It doesn't allow water in. That's where that doorway will be installed and maintained with a French balcony underneath it, and with a couple of little lights in it, lights meaning windows, to light up that office a little bit more. We wanted to preserve that. There was some sort of addition on this building at some point, which is why Alan had to completely redesign this area to make it look historically correct, because it was a later addition was and provided an entrance to a basement in the other location, and that was torn off before the building was moved. So it created this nasty situation at the back here, and Alan Orashan came up with a great solution for that. So that's the way she looks today. We need your help. We really appreciate your help, and we're very close to getting this building occupied. Thanks again.